Hello and welcome to Remember the Flowers, a new visual novel by the person who I'm superimposing onto the screen right now. I was actually going to do it when it came out, but I was procrastinating. You know, stuff that usually happens. But anyways, I'm doing it now. It's a pretty background. I kind of like that they're adding animated backgrounds to some of the visual novels I'm doing now. Also, the music is by Andamics, who is also doing music for the Echo Project games and Far Beyond the World, and probably some other stuff too. Anyways, let's begin. Hey, he's losing a lot of blood. Are you sure it's a good idea to leave him? Of course not, but we can't get back to the vehicle while all the guards are around. But we can at least... It'll be fine. We'll just keep him covered. Hey, help me move those crates. I feel like I'm slipping in and out of consciousness. Where am I? Why can't I open my eyes? Hey, don't worry. You'll be okay. Ooh. Shh. Just rest. We'll be back soon. I can feel him lift my head and wrap something tight around it before placing something soft between me and the wall behind me. That'll have to do for first aid. Okay, let's move out. Right. Wait, where are you going? Where? Something hard hits my forehead, causing me to jerk my head up. If my lectures are boring, feel free to leave. I look at my desk. He threw a chalk stick at me. We're on the third row of the lecture hall too. I don't know if I should be impressed or annoyed. Maybe a little bit of both. Sorry, sir, I must have dozed off. I don't need you to tell me that. As a doctor, I hope not. I mutter to myself. What was that? Nothing, nothing. And with that, my professor scoffs and turns back towards the board, pulling a new stick of chalk from a box. What a geezer. I pick up the bit that he threw at me. If I had some more confidence in my aim, I'd throw it right back at him. Hey, I know what you're thinking. I turn to my right, to Deanna. You always seem to. It's not worth it. I know, but... You can get back at him by proving yourself on the upcoming test. Gah, I forgot about that. The past few nights have been kind of a blur on account of... Were you up practicing again? Maybe? Deanna sighs at that, to which I grimace. You know, you really nailed your impression of my mom. Well, what did you expect? You stay up all night every night. Who wouldn't be concerned about that? I know, I know. She's right, as much as I don't want to admit it. Sorry, I'm just still adjusting to this new program and I'm trying to figure out how to weave in my own personal projects. Deanna pauses before placing an arm on my shoulder. No, don't be sorry. I shouldn't be nagging you, at least not this much. I laugh. No, I kind of appreciate it. It shows you care. Well, I'm glad that's coming through. I have always been a bit worried about you. You and me both. At the very least, you seem to be absorbing a lot of the information being thrown at you. It's almost unfair how well you do on the exams with how little you study. It's all thanks to you. You've helped me a lot with figuring out my study habits. Clearly not enough. How much sleep did you get last night? Irrelevant. I'm sure. I try to yawn discreetly into my hand, but I guess it wasn't discreet enough as our professor whips around and zeroes in on me. I can feel Deanna's arms tense up on my shoulder, as if I got caught doing something promiscuous. Something I should be made aware of, you two? Well... Deanna stands up. Oh, well, you see, he was just helping me understand the new material about the frontal cortex. I was having trouble wrapping my head around it. She's trying to play it off. Oh, is that so? Deanna, I expected better from you, and not to associate with anyone who could drag you down. I feel myself getting heated. Who the hell does this dick think he is? Would the fine gentleman like to stand up and share with the rest of the class? There's some whispers and murmurs across the room, all directed at me. I look at my peripheral. Deanna has a look of, oh, I fucked up, on her face, still. I stand up. With all due respect, sir, which isn't much, I am aware of your tenure, but I don't think it's wise to force your job on your unemployed students. Or did you forget how much our tuition costs, along with giving a proper explanation on the frontal cortex? Gasps erupt from the rest of the class. I feel hot in the face, but I'm keeping cool, which I can't say for our professor. I think he just snapped his new stick of chalk in two. I can see him squirm to find some kind of a legal retort, tenure or not. I'm pretty sure throwing shit at me is grounds for removal. Maybe not, but I'm not gonna crack for the likes of him. I shift my hand to my hip. I'm waiting, Professor. Now he's the one looking red in the face, more so out of anger. I bet that's most of the blood flow he's gotten in quite a while. He grumbles something insulting under his breath before turning angrily to write with his now broken chalk. That's what I thought, asshole. I sit back down and take a deep breath. I'm not cut out for these kind of performances. Neither is Deanna. We look at each other somewhat mortified before bursting out into laughter. It's thankfully covered by the bell. I help Deanna gather her notes. She has a real knack for organized chaos. I guess I've rubbed off on her as well. We make our way out to the lecture hall, still laughing. Glad to see you've been taking notes from Damien. Oh yeah? How so? Well, you were a pretty timid guy growing up. I remember having to beat up your bullies for you. To be fair, you were pretty good at kung fu. Damn right. She shows off her standard kick. I have to admit, I wish I had her coordination. What's your point, though? Well, let's see. How long have you been dating Damien? I think our first anniversary is coming up. Oh wait, really? I need to plan something. Anyways. Wait, don't change the subject. Anyways, as I was saying, you were pretty quiet growing up. Sure, you kinda grew out of it a bit, but once you met him, you started getting, I don't know, more confident? What can I say? He's my better half. I give an exaggerated gay sigh, to which Deanna snorts. Well, he certainly has left an impression on you. I guess being around the star of the college basketball team will do that to you. Oh my god, stop. Someone's gonna hear you. I try to shush her, but she just covers another laugh with her hand. Guess you got some more confidence to build. Besides, weren't you on the Jumbotron together at the end of the last game? I think I'm getting a phone call. Deanna crosses her arms as I struggle to pull out my phone. She has a knowing expression on her face. I slide my phone on and hold it to my face. Hello? Oh, hey, Mom. Yeah, no, school's going great. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, no, I'm still adjusting, but it's going okay. And then my phone starts to actually ring and vibrate in my hand, ruining my attempt at fooling Deanna. Who am I kidding? Who'd be fooled by that? I think your phone is ringing. Thank you for telling me. I'll pick it up now. I give a slightly annoyed huff as I actually go to answer a phone call. It's from Damien, and my face immediately brightens. Hello? Hey, sorry to call. We're about to head out for our afternoon run and didn't have time to text. I just wanted to know if we're still on for tomorrow night. No worries, and yeah, I'll make sure everything's ready. You make sure to drink plenty of water, okay? Okay, you got it, dude. See you at the cafeteria for dinner? You know it. I love you. Stay safe. I love you too. The exaggerated smooch Damien makes is loud enough for Deanna to hear. I almost cringe, but eventually do the same thing for him. I can hear him giggle before hanging up. I sigh happily as I stuff my phone in my pocket before turning my attention towards Deanna. What? You guys are so cute. She's holding her cheek, gushing over us as she usually does. Stop. It's true though. Young love. Deanna giggles again, and with that, we continue our way back to our dorms. So, What you got planned for tomorrow? Heh, it's a secret. Oh, don't get any ideas. Oh, I would never. I roll my eyes at that before getting my phone out to show something to her. We're going to a show tomorrow. Oh, exciting. Kinda surprised. Didn't know you were into that kind of scene. I'm really not, but Damien was so excited that his band was coming to town. I couldn't say no. I pause. Also, I do want to get out of my comfort zone, if even just a little bit. I getcha. Do you guys need a DD? Wouldn't hurt. You sure you wouldn't mind? Not at all. I got off tomorrow. I'll text Damien to let him know. Thanks, Deanna. I appreciate it. Of course. We chat about this and that for a while longer before coming to a split between the dorms. We're not co-eds, so we don't actually live together. Oh, before I forget, do you want to visit the greenhouse this weekend? I don't know. I'll have to see how I'm feeling the next morning. You're not gonna have a 2-day hangover. How about Sunday afternoon? I sigh through my nose. I can't get around it. I have been skipping out helping Deanna the past few weekends while figuring out everything on this side of the campus. I'm already hanging out with Damien Friday night, and I do owe her one now. There's really no excuse. Yeah, sure. I'll see you Sunday. Wanna meet up for lunch then and head over? It's a date. I'll see you then. Yeah, sounds good. We wave at each other as we walk down our respective paths home. As usual, I wave to the dorm mother. As usual, I skip the faculty elevator and take the stairs. As usual, I make my way home into my dorm room. I've only been here for about a month, but at least I've got this routine down pat. Being in the master's program has its perks. I call it a dorm room, but it's almost like an apartment, complete with a kitchenette. What's best is I have the place to myself. Well, mostly. Damien spends the nights a lot, too. I toss my bag on the couch before grabbing a glass of water, promptly chugging it. I'm not used to the summer heat around here. As I strip off my overshirt, I look towards the bathroom. I kinda want to take a shower right now, but I decide to do it at my usual time, right before bed. I sleep better that way. I say that, but I'm gearing up for my afternoon nap without any distractions. I plug in my phone, briefly lighting up the pic of Damien holding me up from behind as I flail in his grasp. I smile at it before flipping face first into my squishy pillow, not even bothering to pull over the blankets. It's a bit too hot for that. My eyelids start to get heavy and I fall asleep from my afternoon nap. There's a strange ringing in my head. It's quiet, but just loud enough that I can't ignore it. I'm having trouble opening my eyes. How long was I out? It almost feels like a headache, but it's concentrated only in the back. Lifting my arm is a struggle, too. Wait, am I sitting? A groan escapes my dry throat. How long have I been sitting like this? With all my might, I lift my hands up to my face and try and rub my eyes open with my palms. Wait, what is all of this I'm feeling? I pull it and it tugs at my scalp. It's my hair. I'm not lucid enough to panic quite yet, or maybe I am and this is just a weird dream. In any case, after some rubbing, I managed to crack my eyes open. I'm sitting in the alleyway that I've never seen before. Even moving my eyes to look around is a struggle at first. I just woke up, but I already feel exhausted. I take a few breaths, which is somewhat alarming. I thought you couldn't breathe in dreams. Regardless, little by little I start moving what I can. I can wiggle my toes and move my arms. I kind of need to move them as my hair is getting in the way of my vision. I can hold my bangs down to nearly my sternum. The length isn't what's most concerning though, it's the fact that my hair is almost an unnatural shade of white. That aside, I can try to feel around. I'm against the wall and my next goal is to try to stand up. My joints pop like mad. Seriously, how long have I been sitting here like this? It should not be this hard to stand up, but my knees are trembling. Nearly hugging the wall with my side, I manage to stand up, albeit quite hunched over. Something slides off of me, but before I can look down to see what it is, I start to stumble. I jerk a bit as a wave of disorientation washes over me. My vision blurs. I can see stars. I feel dizzy and I can't keep my breathing steady. It doesn't hurt. Nothing does. Not even the sudden upchuck of stomach acid I expel onto the ground below me. I clutch my stomach as I fall to my knees, breathing erratic. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. But I feel like it should. I'm more confused than scared. I don't have enough time to process what little information I have as I throw up whatever was left in my stomach. It just smells like acid. And just like that, I'm back to sitting against the wall. I shut my eyes, but I can still see colors swirling around the insides of my eyelids. Without any strength, I just sit there and pant. The taste of stomach fluids still comes up from my throat with each breath, burning my mouth. I heave again, but nothing comes out this time. Nothing but a guttural belch. Okay, calm down. Calm down. I say to myself, barely recognizing my own throat. Not surprising, it feels like the only thing to wet my throat in decades was my own bile. I clutch my head to try and control the spinning I'm feeling. After several minutes of trying to breathe calmly, my vision starts to settle. I still feel disoriented, but I can at least make out what's in front of me now. Again, I look around, trying to get my bearings. As I noted earlier, I'm in some sort of alley. I don't know where, though. Tilting my head up, I can see that it's night. The buildings around me seem to stretch taller than they should. I look further in front of me. There are boxes blocking the alleyway, and they're stacked pretty high. I look down to the ground and something catches my eye. Slowly, I bend over to reach over it, not wanting to upset my stomach anymore, and I grab what seems to be a jacket. It's pretty big. I can stretch it over far past something that would fit me. I wonder who left this here. Were they trying to cover me? Another headache hits the back of my head and I clutch the side of my face. Ugh, I'm starting to feel nauseous again. I rest my head against the wall and immediately feel uncomfortable. It didn't hurt, but I could tell I shouldn't have done that. I reach for the back of my head. I feel bandages and a lot of them. Along with that, I can only assume is crusted of blood. How the hell did I end up like this? The last thing I remember was hanging out with Deanna and making plans with Damien. I try to recollect more as much as I can. It's all scattered like a haze is blocking me from my own memories. Oh fuck. I exhale with a haggard breath. I'm still hoping this is just a weird dream because I can't even remember my own name. I then spend the next half hour alternating between doing breathing exercises and having an existential crisis. The more I think about it, the more I realize I don't know who I am. I'm thinking clearly, but there's not much to think about. All I know is that Deanna and Damon are very close to me, and I wish they were here right now. I feel a sort of sadness at all the things I can't remember. All my relationships and experiences are just gone. One thing's for sure, this is no dream. Maybe it's a nightmare? If it was, it'd be the most boring nightmare I've ever had. I'd say that, but I'm still fairly spooked. I move past the notion that I'm dreaming. However, the sensation I felt since waking up is too real. Even so, I periodically pinch the skin of my forearm. I can definitely feel him pinching the skin, but I don't feel any pain. It's basically numb. Same with the back of my head. That blow I must have taken did a serious number on me. It doesn't take a doctor to figure out that that's probably why I can't remember anything. Speaking of doctors, I replay the memory of myself and Deanna laughing at our professor. It's the only entertainment I have. Well, kind of. I also think back to that earlier memory. I've come to accept the fact that it's real. Despite the fact that my eyes are closed, it all felt so visceral to the point that I can say it happened. Someone mentioned my loss of blood and someone else covered me up. Someone left me here? But who? All I have to go on is this jacket they left behind for me. It's simple enough, but I don't recognize the style. Not that I can talk about fashion. It's better than what I have on. I can't tell if I'm wearing a hospital scrubs or a prison uniform. Wish that I at least had some socks. The more I wake up, the more I realize how cold I am. I sigh. Eventually, I look towards the other side of the alleyway. I don't think I could move those boxes easily, if at all. But I should at least try to look for help. I'm starting to get annoyed with my body as I struggle to do the simplest of tasks. I can hear my panting echo softly through the alleyway along with something else. The sound of footsteps. I try to hold my breath. I think someone's on the other side of those boxes. Do I call out to them? Do I hide? Not that there's much room to hide. Whatever's out there starts pulling the boxes out one by one. I don't know what's in those boxes, but they don't look easy to throw around. They're just chucking them like it's nothing. I can feel my knees start to tremble. A chill runs down my spine and my teeth start to chatter. Both my knees give and I'm back on my ass against the wall. The fear is starting to get overwhelming and my vision starts to blur again. There aren't many boxes left and something starts to show between the cracks. A light. A flashlight. Before I know it, the ray of light is completely covering me. It's a task to lift my arms to block the beam, and even harder to keep them in the air. I was already struggling to move without fearing for my life. I don't think I can take much more of this. I'm getting overstimulated. I feel like I'm shutting down. And just as I start to succumb to my panic, the light suddenly shifts. Slowly, I start to open my eyes, peeking through the cracks of my fingers whilst avoiding the light. The person, no, the beast man holding the gun moves one step closer. Don't move, he says in a gruff, commanding voice. If I was cold before, I'm frozen now. I'm just sitting here, trying to follow his movements the best I can with what little I can see. Through the slits of my fingers, I can ascertain one thing. He's a wolf, and a tall one at that. The wolf circles around me. I can see him clearly in my peripheral. He can see my face now, along with the terrified expression I'm wearing. Gun or not, he could rip me to shreds with just those claws. Not that there's much to rip apart. I don't stand a chance at running in my current condition. Hell, I can barely stand up. So I sit here, waiting to see what he's going to do with me. He's a few feet away, gun pointed at me. Upon closer inspection, it looks to be the size of a pistol, but it doesn't look like any model I've ever seen. The wolf shifts his head, looking all over my body. My teeth start chattering again, reverberating through the alleyway. He walks up closer with intent. I shut my eyes. It's all I can do. This is the worst my breathing has been since I woke up. I can feel my empty stomach churn and my dehydrated eyes strain to tear up. The only thing that pulls me out from my panic attack is the feeling of something soft under my chin. He starts to slowly lift my head with his paw. His paw pads feel like warm leather under my chin. His breath is hot on my face. Now more than ever, I wish this was just a dream. The wolf squints his eyes and speaks to me. I can't make it out. The ringing in my ears is too loud. It's all I can muster. The wolf closes his eyes before pulling his hands away. He sits in front of me. We're eye level with each other. Are you... eh? Huh? He pauses once more before repeating himself again. Are you okay? I don't respond. I'm not in the right state of mind to. He seems to pick up on this. Calm down. I'm not gonna hurt you. The wolf places the gun he was holding on the ground and slides it to the other side of the alleyway. See, if I wanted to, I would have already. That's one gun gone. But what about the one on his back? My eyes veer to it, which he notices. I'm not taking that one off. It would be too much work. He states matter-of-factly before switching to a crisscross position. You're okay. You're okay. He looks me in the eyes again before holding his paw apart in front of me. Breathe in. He pulls them closer, almost in a clasping motion. And breathe out. I'm slowly transitioning from panic to confusion, which I'd say is an upgrade. For some reason, the inflection in his voice sounds weird. He's speaking English undoubtedly, but something about it is off. I can't put my finger on it. Is it a dialect? Regardless, I do as he says and start to match my breathing with his movements. We do this for a while, and slowly but surely, it seems to be working. With enough time and effort, and with the help of this wolf, I bring myself out of my self-induced panic attack. After one final deep breath, I manage to get back to just breathing through my nose. I'm still breathing faster than I would like to, but it's a start. There. How are you feeling? He takes a deep breath as well. I guess that did take longer than it needed to. Tired. And dizzy. Finally, I drop my hands for a moment before moving to hold my head. It feels like I swapped a panic attack for a headache. I'm not surprised. The wolf gets closer to me, to my head. Well, I really don't like how close he's getting. You've lost a lot of blood. Gently, he holds my chin and shifts me to the right, revealing the back of my head. He leans in closer and takes a few sniffs. I can feel his breath again, and I start to get apprehensive. I instinctively pull back. Gentle or not, this really isn't helping with my anxiety. You're still scared. Huh? He leans in again, and I can feel the wetness of his nose on my forehead as he trails around my head before sniffing around some more. Sorry, the wolf says bluntly before he pulls back. Habit of mine. Okay. What's your name? He asks suddenly. I literally don't have an answer for him. I don't know. The wolf doesn't seem fazed by that. What do you know? I don't know. My emotions feel like a metronome swapping between scared and confused at the drop of a dime. I'd like to believe he's right. If he wanted to hurt me, he would have already. Now that I think about it, I don't think he could hurt me either way, on the account of not feeling any pain. Well, that's not true. He could break my legs, and even if I couldn't feel it, I'd be at his mercy. The flash of imagery in my head makes me shudder. Wait here. Huh? His voice snaps me out of my imagination. He stands up and then moves near the alley entrance. I cock my head as I try to see what he's doing. The wolf waves a paw over his right wrist. A small screen lights up in front of him. It seems to be coming out of a bracelet he's wearing. I squint, trying to make heads or tails of it. Seriously, where the hell am I? We certainly didn't have this kind of tech back on Earth. Whatever he's doing, he's tapping furiously away at it with his fingers. For a moment, he places his free paw over his chin. He looks deep in thought. All of a sudden, he turns his attention back to me, looking me over once more before typing away again. He waits. I then hear something. A notification? Then he starts tapping again for about a minute before sliding the screen away. Okay, can you stand? I'm gonna take you home now. Here. The wolf walks up to me before starting to get me on my feet. He carefully gets under my armpits and lifts me up slowly, trying to keep me stable. How's that? Wait a minute. I stumble nearly to my knees and he catches me. It's okay, I can carry you if you want. I said wait! I raise my voice and the wolf's eyes widen a bit. I push him away, choosing to slump against the wall again. At least I'm still standing, even if barely. Who the hell are you? Where the hell am I? How do you know where I live? Even though my adrenaline from earlier has worn off, I'm starting to get hit with rising paranoia. I barely even know where I live. You can't seriously expect someone with a head injury to just go with someone they don't even know, do you? Quite feisty for someone with a head injury. The wolf sighs before walking over, then sits down in front of me again so that I'm looking down at him. I'm kind of glad he did. My knees feel like they're about to give out. I sit back down on the ground. I don't know how to explain this without alarming you, but you're going through a fairly common experience around here. He then taps the side of his head, bearing the head injury. What do you mean? The wolf scratches the back of his head. It's best that you know as little as possible, unless absolutely necessary. That's a horrible way to build trust. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but I did mean it. I don't need your trust. I could take you by force if you really want me to. The fur on his neck bristles and my fear spikes again. He flans back down before rubbing the back of his neck. Relax. It won't come to that if you just cooperate. I'll say this. I've done this before many times. Done what? Taking humans home, amnesiac or not. How do you know where I live? The wolf pauses. Do you know where Rissam is? No. Should I? The wolf exhales almost in relief. Whether or not you do doesn't matter to me. Rissam is one of the few cities that's mainly just humans around here. Okay, so where's around here? The wolf shakes his head. We can talk about that later. Honestly, we've dallied long enough. Just know that I have contacts there. He lifts his paw, pointing to that weird bracelet. I confirmed a meeting point to get you home safely. I open my mouth, to which he interrupts. And before you ask any more questions, I gave a description of your appearance and they matched it up with someone who's missing. I close my mouth. I guess you have done this before. I'm kinda surprising myself. I'm taking all of this in way too quickly, aren't I? I guess when your head is nearly empty, anything new becomes acceptable. Regardless, I'm going to have to at least try to remain skeptical. How do I know that you're not just setting me up? The wolf smirks at that. You don't. What would you be able to do in your current situation if I was, though? He has a point. I don't know where or who I am. I wouldn't be able to make it far. I sigh. I can't tell if my ears are still ringing or if there's an alarm bells going off in my head. I resign myself. I really don't have a choice. Okay, fine. It's not like I trust you, though. Baka. That's wise. I won't do anything to hurt you. You can count on that. We'll see, I guess. With that out of the way, the exhaustion is starting to catch up. I scoot back to my familiar spot against the wall. I can barely stand up, let alone walk. Not to already impose, but you wouldn't happen to have any food or water, would you? The wolf thinks it over before turning towards the alley, listening. Yeah, we could probably have a quick bite to eat. Let me just... He walks over to the pile of crates and starts stacking them again, providing some decent coverage. There, that should be fine. I doubt anyone would go through the trouble to get through that. Besides you. Fair enough. Actually, that does make me curious. Before the wolf sits down, he plops the bag he had slung on his shoulder onto the ground. It looks a bit weird, almost like a violin case with its angles straightened out. Like an awkward trapezoid. Wait, I'm getting distracted. So, how did you know I was here? Oh. The wolf taps his snout with a couple of fingers. It was faint, but I could smell you a couple of blocks away. He pauses. Well, you're blood anyways. I see. Well, why did you go through the trouble of finding me? The wolf takes out what seems to be a canteen and places it in front of me, along with some kind of package wrapped in what feels like plastic. Afterwards, he moves to sit next to me against the wall. I take a lot of odd jobs. I wasn't looking for you per se, I was just in the area when I caught your scent. He takes his own package, ripping it open. Some kind of food? You should consider yourself lucky. By the looks of it, you wouldn't have lasted another day or two. Looking over myself, I'd say he's right. I'm skin and bones with an empty stomach and a concussion. Now that I think about it, I'm kinda surprised I made it this long. Slowly, I lean forward to pick up the canteen thing. I can feel liquid inside, but I don't see a way to use it. It's a rectangular shape with no discernible opening. Um. Uh, hmm? Ruff? He looks up from whatever he's eating. There's water in here, right? How do I open it? He swallows. Oh. He leans over, slides his fingers across the top. A small opening appears. There, it's got some nutrients in it that should help. Just drink it slowly. I do as I'm told. Maybe it's because I'm so dehydrated, but this water does taste pretty rich. It's almost heavy. I choke on it for a moment, but swallow it down soon, not wanting to waste any of it. I smack my lips a bit, as if it's alcohol. You okay? Yeah, it's just a bit strong. Just drink it slowly. I nod, a tad embarrassed for my lack of coordination. Regardless, I'm thankful for the drink. My throat even starts to feel a little bit better in a few minutes. Not wanting to drink it all myself, I mimic what he did earlier to close the canteen. You know, on second thought, the wolf reaches over and takes the package he gave me. I'm just gonna take a guess that judging by how you reacted to the water, you could use something a bit lighter to eat. He's rummaging once again in the bag before handing me a small parcel. That should be a bit lighter. It doesn't really taste like much, but it's got some protein. Curious, I reach over to pick it up. It feels like it's wrapped in paper, though there's no label. Even with what little strength I have, I open it fairly easily. What's inside kind of looks like a saltine cracker, but brown instead of manila. I lift one up and smell it. It's like beef jerky, but only faintly. If I'm being honest, they don't look very appetizing. Beggars can't be choosers, though. I take one of the cracker things and bite into it. Thankfully, he's right. It doesn't taste like much. A little salty and a little bit sweet, but not much else. Definitely the texture of a cracker. I'm just glad I got something to drink. After a few minutes of eating, I look over to the wolf. He's enjoying his meal, at least I think he is. Man, how did I end up here? Now that I have time to think, I realize something. I don't recognize his voice from the ones I've heard before. I decide to speak up about it. Oh, right. I think there were people here who left me, but I can't really remember. The wolf looks over to me with a curious look. Do you remember anything about them? No, not really. Just a little bit of a conversation, probably right after I got this dent in my head. I pat the crumbs off on my shirt and hold out the jacket I woke up with. I have this, but that's it. The wolf looks it over before he grabs it from my hands and smells it. He then scrunches his nose. I guess he didn't like how it smelled because he balls it up and tosses it to the side. I think it would be best to leave it here. Take my word. Oh, okay. I start to think to myself. Whoever left that for me, I think they had my best interest in mind. Their voice seemed reassuring at least. Although to be fair, they did leave me here like this. I should be more careful. A voice isn't enough to judge a character. Oh wait. What's your name? We had such a shaky start that I completely forgot to ask. My name? He pauses, then sighs. Cooper. Just don't tell anyone. Why? You ask a lot of questions, you know that. To be fair, you're making it hard not to. Just eat your food. Okay. Once again, I do as I'm told, sitting in this strange alley with this strange beastman, eating his strange food. I wonder how Damien would react to the situation if he were here with me. I bet he'd try to carry me so that we could get as far away from this place as possible. A little fragment flashes through my mind as Damien giving me a piggyback ride. I think he convinced me to play basketball with him and he whooped my butt. I remember being tired, just not as much as I am now. I sigh. I really miss his piggyback rides. I don't think this race place is my home. It's not much, but I have some memories of where I lived. Oh? I just don't know how to make sense of all of this. I'm not surprised. I just know one thing. I really want to go home. Well, as far as I'm aware, Resum is your home. He pauses. Even if it's not, Resum is known for getting people back to where they belong. What do you mean? Well, Resum is a hotspot for humans, almost a sanctuary. I'm sure they could get you back to wherever you came from. I hope so. Cooper flicks his ear at that. I guess he can sense my dejection, though I'm not really hiding it. Where did you come from? Nowhere worth mentioning. He dodges my question and stands up, listening intently. I think it's time we head out. How are you doing? Well, better, but I don't think I'm in any condition to move around too much. Can you walk? I grunt as I try to stand up. It wasn't much, but that combination of water and protein crackers is at least giving me enough strength to stand up and walk a bit. Kind of, but I don't think for very far or long. We'll take breaks, and if it comes to it, I'll carry you. Okay. I stretch, popping all my joints again, but this time it feels really good. I'm just glad to be off my butt for a bit. I should mention it. When we're out of the alley, it'd be best to keep talking to a minimum. Why? Cooper's stance shifts, looking towards the opening of the alley, then back at me. There are people trying to find you as we speak. And that's bad? Very. I can't disclose much, but I'd say this. Your life will be a living hell if they find you. Maybe it's just because I'm getting more lucid, but I'm not really fazed by that. That kind of worries me. So wait, are you under contract? In a sense. As I've said, I've done a lot of escort missions. It tends to be easier the less people know. That doesn't sound very skeevy or anything. Cooper looks out the alley, then back at me. Look, there's a lot out there, and with your current mental state, I don't think it would be a good idea to overwhelm you. Maybe, I don't know. I close my eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Being left in the dark ain't much better. You'll be fine. I'm sure you've been through worse. I wouldn't know. Cooper actually chuckles at that before returning his gaze to the alleyway opening. Gotta do this in a way that's not suspicious. I think I'll leave that to you. Didn't really offer. Fair enough. About 5 minutes, he manages to remove most of the boxes fairly quietly. We're free to leave the alley. I'm both nervous and excited. You said we shouldn't talk, right? Only if absolutely necessary. Whisper if you need to. I'll probably hear it. Why? Can we write? Do you have an axiom? What? I'll take that as a no. He points to his bracelet. I can communicate through this via text, but that's it. What about pen and paper? Cooper looks at me as if I said something truly bizarre. I don't know how to write like that. Wait, what? I didn't use it much outside of class, but at least I know how. Okay. You do? Weird. What the? Like, you're the one to talk? I think to myself, grumbling. Oh, right. He looks over to me again. I'm slowly getting used to that. What should I call you? Huh? Oh, I'm not sure. The thought hadn't crossed my mind. What do I call myself? Cooper pauses again, thinking. Well, until you come up with something, I'll just call you human. Okay. Achoo. Before we officially venture out, we do a bit of cleaning in the alleyway. Cooper tells me that we should try avoid leaving anything behind, sans the jacket he tossed. Thankfully there's not much, just the wrappings from our food and... Oh. I forgot Cooper's other gun. It would definitely lead to trouble if we left something like that lying around. As I'm about to try to pick it up, I think to myself, is it a good idea to touch something like that? Hey Cooper, you left your gun over here. Is it okay for me to pick it up? Oh, good call. Yeah, the safety's on, just try not to slide anything on it. Slide anything? On a gun? Okay, I know my motor skills are a bit rusty, but I should be able to pick up a gun without firing it, right? I gulp. I'm hovering my hand over it, inches away before a yellow arm invades my vision. Relax, you're not gonna set it off. The wolf casually picks it up and even twirls it. See? If you say so. Here. Cooper then carefully takes my arm and plants the pistol into my hand. It's cool to the touch and smooth. It almost feels like a smartphone screen. My grip is firm on it and I don't want to drop it. Still, I do turn it around slowly, getting a decent look at it. It looks cool. It's not what I normally picture a gun to look like, though. It's sleek and pretty light. However, it's still a gun and I don't trust myself with it. It's, neat. Here, take it back. Cooper takes it and holsters it back at his hip. I guess giving you a self-defense weapon is out of the question. Would that be necessary? In your position, yes. Why does whoever they are want me so bad? Classified. Figures. You ready to head out? As ready as I'll ever be. He takes out his bracelet, or axiom, and starts to tap away at it. Now that I'm close, I can kind of make out what he's doing. The screen is pretty clear even while being somewhat translucent. I can't make out a lot though, it looks blurry, almost as if censored. You can read that? I can. You can't. He swipes away at the screen. No offense, but I'm not gonna register you in it. Okay. Whatever that means. We're going to head to a nearby plaza. It's late, but there should be a shop open. For what? I figured you could use a change of clothes. He grimaces. Glad I just got paid. You don't have to do anything, I'll manage. That's nice of you, human, but it's more out of necessity. Your current getup would be suspicious to just about anyone. I look down at what I'm wearing. He has a point, although I'm not sure what kind of fashion they have here. If I could choose, probably something with sleeves. The scars along my arms and legs are kind of off-putting, especially to me. Do you have any suggestions? Yeah, I'm not the person to ask about clothes. We'll figure it out when we get there. Okay. We both look over the alley, making sure it's empty enough. Alright, let's start moving. Tug on my sleeve or something if you need anything, and remember, keep quiet. Okay. With that, we make our way out the alley. It's hard to tell what time it is, but I'd guess it's after midnight. There's no one out in the streets besides a few cars. Some flying cars at that. Okay, yeah, maybe Cooper was onto something about the scary outside world. What's more is that they're fairly quiet, just a slight hum. We walk on the sidewalk. The material is somewhat warm against my bare feet. I can't tell what it's made out of. It feels weird. I really wish I had some shoes. Cooper walks along the street, keeping me somewhat close to the walls of the nearby buildings. Their walls look sleek and unnaturally smooth. If I had to guess, they look like the same material as the gun Cooper has. The surface just looks like a big phone screen, highly reflective. I don't look long though, not wanting to see my face. We make it a block or two before I tug at Cooper's sleeve. Cooper perks his ears in my direction. I whisper as quietly as I can. Sorry, break? Sure. I lean against the wall behind me, taking a few breaths. I was hoping I'd last longer. The fact that it's the middle of the night doesn't help. I'm feeling pretty sleepy. Here, this should help. Before I can ask, he takes out his axiom. I think he draws a circle on the screen. As he does, the outline of a circle lights up on the ground. With another tap, Cooper slides the axiom off, and a cylinder rises from the ground, stopping at around my calf. Cooper must see my stunned expression. What's the matter, old man? Never been to the city before? At this point, I don't know if I'm more stunned at what he just did, or what he just called me. Old man? I'm like 26. I spit out in a hiss. Never seen a human that young with hair that old. And keep it down, would you? He's lucky I'm mature, or else I'd call him out on provoking me like that. I stare at him, sticking my tongue out. I huff and sit down on my new seat. It's not very big, but it's enough for me to sit fully on it without sliding off. It's warm, almost like a heated seat. Curiously, I glide my hand over the side. It's almost soft in that worn, plasticky kind of way. Handy. Cooper rests against the building while I take my break. He's tapping away at his axiom again. I try to look at it some more. I can see some pictures, I think, but that's about it. Looking around, there's not much to talk about in terms of architecture. Most buildings look the same, being eerily rectangular without much detail. The ones that don't look a bit older, but not in terms of architecture. I've never seen this style, they just look more worn out than the rest. Cooper keeps an ear out for the few cars that come our way, but he doesn't seem too worried. Not even for the ones a few stories above us. It's kind of scary seeing stuff like flying cars all of a sudden. I instantly think about a scenario where one malfunctions and just falls straight on me. Ever the pessimist. I shake my head and stand up. Turning to Cooper, I give him the thumbs up. He gives me a puzzled look before doing it back. Albeit a tad weird. Does he even know what that means? This no-talking thing isn't gonna work. I sigh before gesturing him to lead the way. Thankfully, he understands that, and we're walking along again. Once again, I start to think to myself, I've come to accept that I'll be doing that a lot now. Seriously, this place is huge. It's a wonder how people don't get lost around here. There are signs here and there, but with all the buildings looking so similar, how do they all make sense of it? My thoughts get interrupted as Cooper suddenly pulls me into a nearby alley. What? Shh! He covers my mouth abruptly and huddles me against the wall. I furrow my brow. Where did this come from? Oh fuck. Did he see one of those guards? I can't see anything out the alley. Cooper is resting on his side now, blocking me. He pulls me up against his chest, my scrawny chest against his built one. This is the closest we've been. With his paw covering my mouth, I could only breathe through my nose. I've never noticed it before, but this dog absolutely reeks. My eyes almost water. His musk is so overpowering. If the guards don't get me, the stench will. Actually, no, guards, please come around the corner. Save me. They don't, as much as I sort of wanted them to. I don't see them, but I hear the clamping of boots behind Cooper. When they stop, my heart drops. They pick up again after a few moments, their steps fading into the distance. When Cooper removes his paw from my mouth, I take in some fresh air as I move a few steps away from him. I glare at him and whisper in a hoarse voice. Rude! Sorry, they were getting close. But they're not the only ones. I actually spit on the ground, getting as much of this musk out of my system as possible. You need a bath. What? Come on, let's go. You'd think with a nose that good, he'd have noticed. I don't even give him time to process that as I pull him out of the alley. Ugh. My bravado ceases quickly though, as I need him to actually lead me. We don't talk for the rest of the walk and thankfully no other guards pop up. After another few blocks, Cooper points to a building. It's one of the only ones with a lit sign. Looks like neon. There, that's our place. I huff. Thank God, my legs were starting to give out. What is it? A clothing store. I think. You think? Well, I've never been. It's just recommended on the Axiom. By who? Let's go. Okay. We cross the street quickly. Well, as quickly as I can. It isn't until we're up against the building I finally realize what's been so off-putting about this city. No, there doesn't seem to be any doors on most, if any, of the surrounding buildings. This building has some see-through windows above it, but here at ground, nothing. It just looks like a big wall of plastic. How do we get in? Hang on. He pushes me out the way before taking out the Axiom, this time drawing more of an archway on the screen. While he's doing this, an outline in the shape of what he's drawing appears on the wall in front of us. Once it connects, there's a brief flash of light before a new doorway has appeared. Wait here, I'll have to open one for you. I can't go through yours? No, don't worry, It'll just take a minute. Uh, Before I can protest, Cooper heads into the boutique, and the doorway shuts behind him almost instantly. It hasn't even been a minute, but the fact that I'm alone out in this strange world is giving me goosebumps. I've rubbed my arms a bit, really feeling the lack of sleeves. Wonder why I can't feel pain, but can feel all of this. At least my feet are warm. These heated walkways are nice. I look around some and I think I see a clock in the distance. 2:46 a.m. No wonder I'm so tired. I yawn and rest against the wall. It's cool compared to the floor, which is weird to say the least. Man, Cooper's taking a long time in there. I start to get worried looking at the clock that it's been several minutes. It's a door. I mean, it's super futuristic kind of door, but it shouldn't take this long to open a door, should it? Starting to get angsty out here, I'm a sitting duck. I turn to face the wall and start to feel around before pushing. Surely there has to be a way to open a door around here, right? What if you don't have an axiom? This all seems ludicrous to me. As I'm feeling around, the outline of an archway lights up. Before I know it, I'm falling face first into the boutique. I yelp and close my eyes, bracing myself for a plethora of broken bones. Instead, I fall on something sturdy and supportive. And smelly. I look up and meet with Cooper's concerned expression. I've fallen onto his chest. Cooper's gaze shifts quickly, though, back to one of annoyance. What are you doing? I was trying to find a way in. You were taking too long. You want to get off? More than you know. I heave as I basically try to do a push-up to get off of him, but my piddly arms make it difficult. Cooper instead just slowly lifts me up from my collar, like a kitten held by his mother, and gets me off. I can't believe you survived this long. I don't have to retort. It is admittedly a bit embarrassing to fall face first into your escort like that. I just grumble to myself and work on standing up. Oh my heavens! Are you all right? I whip my head around towards an unfamiliar voice. As my heart starts to race, Cooper places a hand on my shoulder. Calm down, she's the one running the place, he says with some exhaustion as he hoists me up to stand properly. That's right. Just let me know if you need anything and I'll be here to assist you. She jumps. Oh my gosh, your head. Are you okay? Do you need a doctor? Oh, right, I'm bandaged up. Before I can respond, Cooper speaks up. He's fine. He just had too much to drink. He then pulls on my cheek a bit, as if scalding me. He needs a fresh set of clothes. Oh, I see. Well, of course, just let me know if you need anything and I'll be there lickety-split. Thanks. Her energy is a bit overwhelming, but I nod respectfully towards her out of habit. She looks like a small sheep, maybe no more than 4 feet tall. Her outfit looks like a green bellhop's uniform complete with a cute and small hat. Before she walks back to her desk, I catch her name tag. It looks expensive with the name Marantha written in gold lettering. Fancy to say the least. Never heard of a name like that though. Wonder if it's a local thing. Okay, enough gawking. My inner monologue is once again interrupted by my escort, who lightly slaps my back. Hey, what was that for? You're taking up time again. Go find something to wear. Something cheap. I rub my back and for a moment I think I feel something. Ugh, I'm just tired. I'm aware. Now hurry up. He then scoots me off further into the store while he rests against the wall, fiddling with his axiom. Well, thanks for the help. I want to go to sleep in a real bed. In any case, I start to wander around the store. Everything looks pretty tacky to say the least. Lots of weird designs and most don't look very practical. I shiver, these floors aren't heated. Looking around, I don't see any shoes. If I remember correctly, which is already a stretch, most clothing stores don't hold shoes due to the beastmen needing specific shapes and sizes. Guess it's not unreasonable for them not to have any. Regardless, I walk up to Marantha's desk. This might be easier than wandering around alone, plus Cooper'd get mad at me if I dawdled. As I walk up to the desk, I realize something. I think she's asleep. Excuse me, Miss Marantha? I get closer and yep, she's asleep. She even has a pillow on her desk. I look around for some sort of bell to wake her up. I feel bad, but I do want to get out of here as soon as possible. There's some kind of cube thing next to her nameplate. I tap the cube and sure enough, it produces a small ding, instantly waking her up. Hello. Oh, hello, sir. Did I fall asleep again? Hello, and yeah, I guess you did? Oh dear me. I do apologize for that. I hope you weren't waiting long. Her voice sounds like it's a stuffed animal sheep come to life. She's adorable. It's no trouble at all, ma'am. I'm sorry for waking you. Oh, look at you being so considerate. If everyone around here was like you, this job would be heaven. She hops down from her chair to greet me. Definitely a couple feet shorter than me. I take it you need some help deciding? Oh, yes, I, need some advice. I'm not looking for anything. I pause. Extravagant. Oh, and here I thought we had some of the more tame selections around these parts. I guess that explains her accent. She laughs, but I freeze. Oh fuck, this must be why Cooper told me to keep quiet. They could pick me out from a crowd just by talking. Where are you from, sir? She almost trails as she walks me along the selection. Do I lie? Do I tell the truth? Vermont? She tilts her head at me, smiley expression unfading. Oh, wow. What? I've never heard of that place. What province is it in? Hey, what's that? Oh, that's by designer? Phew. Yeah, this is gonna be an issue. I'll have to talk to Cooper about how to handle these kinds of situations. I let her chatter on. It's honestly just pleasant to hear her talk. She asks about my tastes and what I'm looking for. After I give her the rundown, she clasps her hooved hands. Oh, that explains why you thought we mainly had extravagant stuff. You're looking for something minimalistic. Sure. I just nod. I don't really think of clothes as some sort of art. If she can help me get what I want, that's all I care about. In that case, I think something over here would be perfect. Despite her short legs, she's speedy. I nearly have to jog to catch up to her, which only wears me out more. These were designed by a relatively new designer. He's still up and coming, so I'm sure he'd appreciate your business. I look over and yeah, these seem pretty standard to me. Just how I like it. After a few minutes of pursuing, I pick out a few outfits. They have tags on them, but I can't tell what currency they're in. I think I can pick out some sort of stylized P, but that's it. Is it a peso? Like a Philippine peso? I just don't want to break the bank for Cooper. I think these should be fine. Is there anywhere I can try them on? Certainly, follow me, please. I nod again, her enthusiasm at this point. No. I nod again. Her enthusiasm at this time of the night is impressive. She scurries off to another wall and holds out her wrist. Huh. She has an axiom, too. Hers looks different, cuter than Cooper's. She draws a rectangle on her pink screen and a door appears on the wall. Here you are, sir, the dressing room. It also has a bathroom if you want to freshen up. When you want to leave, just hit the button on the table. Do you have any questions? I think I'm okay. Thank you for all your help. I really appreciate it. Aw, aren't you the sweetest? Well, just holler if you need me. With that, she scurries back to her desk. I'm so tired that I can only muster a half wave to her. She's very nice. I look towards the opening and head in. It's dark for a moment before a harsh, pinkish hue illuminates the area. I have to shield my eyes, dropping my clothes. Sensing discomfort, the lights then tone down drastically to the point of just softly revealing everything. Is this to your satisfaction, customer? Sure, I guess. I don't even question it at this point. Very well, enjoy your stay. Creepy. I scoop up the clothes and walk around slowly. It's pretty spacious for a dressing room. This place is freaking huge. Who needs this much space to get dressed? There's what seems to be a vanity along with a large mirror framed in neon lighting. I'm still far away enough, but it's dawning on me. I have to get a good look at myself. Why am I so nervous? How bad can it be? If my arms and legs are anything to go by, pretty bad. Okay, that's enough. I'm still me, whoever that is. I say that, but I close my eyes as I get closer to the table. After I feel around to find a place to put my clothes down, I open my eyes. Wow, my hair is really long. I stroke it again, really getting a feel for the length. It doesn't look like I've eaten much in a long time either. I'm not withering away, but I definitely can see a lot of bones. My cheekbones in particular are fairly pronounced, along with a pasty complexion. I guess I don't get much sun either. The sudden confrontation with my own reflection just makes my mind wander. Where have I been? And with who? I can feel another panic attack coming and I stand up straight. We can panic later. I need to get used to this. What I've become. I take a deep breath and start preparing myself for what's next. What does my chest look like? I clutch the bottom of my shirt and, although I hesitate for a moment, I decide to just pull the thing off. For a moment, I look away from the mirror, but I glance. Then I look fully. Wow. I'm not sure if I'm disgusted or just plain shocked. My ribs are easily showing, along with several stitch scars throughout my chest. I trail my fingers over a few of them, which makes me shudder. Didn't really realize it, but my hands are pretty cold. I repeat my new mantra. How the hell did I end up like this? I stare at the reflection in the mirror for a while longer. The only thing I can recognize are my green eyes. I remember Damien used to compliment them all the time. Eventually, I snap myself out of it. As weird as I look, we don't have a lot of time. I get used to it sooner or later. I turn, and that's when I'm met with the weirdest part of my body. Along my spine are several pieces of metal. They look like ports. I'm not very flexible right now, but I managed to get my arm around to feel one of them. I push into one and immediately feel a wave of nausea, almost falling over. There's some sort of flash, a bright light, along with the feeling of tightness around my limbs. Fuck, my face was hard enough, but that's not something I'm going to get used to easily. I shake myself out of my stupor and just rush to get my clothes on, not wanting to look at what the mirror is showing me anymore. Thankfully, it doesn't take long for me to figure out the outfit. It's a black turtleneck and dark pants. I can't tell what they're made of though. The turtleneck is light, but I already feel like I'm warming up. The pants almost feel like jeans, but smoother with fabric I've never felt before. Probably best not to think about it. As long as they're functional, that's all I care about. I'm ready to leave, so I push the button thing on the table. It takes about a minute for the door to open. I wonder if she fell asleep again. I don't blame her. I'm surprised they have anyone working this late at night. I gather up all the extra clothes in one arm and my old scrubs in the other. I try to compose myself, still disturbed what I've become. Marantha's back at her desk, waving at me. Cooper finally lifts his head from his axiom and walks over to the desk. He doesn't look thrilled. Welcome back. Oh well, that outfit looks really nice on you. Very comfortable. I might need to try that designer out myself. Well, thanks. I'm not sure if I'm much to look at though. Oh, hush. You're definitely one of the more unique looking humans I've ever come across. She turns to Cooper. Wouldn't you agree? She's beaming. I don't think even Grumpy Cooper can ignore that. He looks okay. Unique is definitely a good word. I rub the back of my neck. It wasn't much, but I do appreciate the compliment. After everything in the dressing room, I'm desperate for any boost of confidence. So, how much? Well, let's see. Give me a moment to calculate everything. She takes out her frilly axiom and starts tapping away. I move next to Cooper, wondering what they're doing. Is this how money works around here? More or less, at least in the ritzy cities. They don't trust physical cash. Weird. Cooper huffs before lifting up his own axiom. I can see him slide the screen to a different window. There are numbers along it. And there. That should do it. She types before sliding her screen forward, and I see it appear on Cooper's. I can actually read it for once. Maybe it's a customer service thing. Cooper reads it too, and doesn't look happy. He grimaces and groans quite loudly. I guess it's expensive. He looks me over again before sighing and tapping a button. I think his signature pops up along with the numbers on the screen, dropping near to 0. Oh. Now I feel bad. Thank you for your patronage, Mr. Krager. Cooper narrows his eyes at her, then slides his axiom off with annoyance. We're leaving now. Oh, okay. I turn to Miranda. Thank you very much. I hope to see you again sometime. Oh, you. That's supposed to be my line. She reaches over the counter to shake my hand. Pleasure doing business with you as well, sir. Don't worry about the clothes. I'll take care of them. Thanks. I appreciate it. I hand her the pile of clothes I didn't take, keeping the ones I wore under my arm. I tried to fold them like she gave them to me, but yeah, that was kind of hard. Have a good morning, boys. You too, ma'am. Hope you get some good rest. We wave to each other, but then Cooper locks his arm around mine, taking us out of the establishment. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it, he says to himself. I guess I was right that it was expensive. Sorry. It's fine. It was my idea, and I'll get paid again soon anyways. Just know that it didn't come cheap. Okay, thank you. Cooper huffs and nods before letting me walk on my own. We walk again on the sidewalk, however this time I don't know where we're going. I'm curious about something though. So, Cooper Krager? He whips around to look at me. If you know what's good for you, don't ever say that name again. Okay, sorry. He huffs again and continues on. Ugh, I really don't want to be in a bad spot with him. Sure, he's kind of pushy, but even in the past few hours, he's done nothing but take care of me. I'll need to figure out a way to repay him somehow. So where are we going? Home. I pause. I know we're going to rest some, but what about right now? What? No. He turns to me. We're going to my home. You'll be spending the night. This time I stop walking before going wide-eyed. Wait, you're not homeless? I'm partly joking, but with how shady he is, and with how much he smells, I just assumed he was. He looks completely done with me though, as he doesn't even give me a verbal reaction. He just keeps walking. I go to catch up to him. I guess I should expect unexpected things, like spending the night in this strange world with a strange wolf. Strange, smelly, musky wolf. To be continued. Gee, I wonder who else is smelly and musky that we know of. Anyways, well, that was the first, I guess, I don't know if it would be the first chapter or the prologue, but that's the first part of Remember the Flowers. And oh, there we go. Here are the credits. The creator, Jericho, that's the name. And it's going by faster than I can read it. Ruby was a concept artist. Well, you guys can read that on your own. And look, there's Poi. And the mics. Look, there's Orion. And Star. Well, anyways. Like I said, that was I guess the build 1 of Remember the Flowers. And I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. because there's not much to go on, and for the moment, it's like most of those. God, what's that word? Those stories where it's like you're taken somewhere else. Is Kai, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I hope to see more of it soon, and as it's released, I will continue to do recordings of it alongside all the other ones I'm already doing, and uh, probably shortly after this one is released, and I'm hoping to release it by Monday or at least Wednesday. Um, you should see the next update for the smoke room, which will be Murdoch's route, and then after that will be Interia, at Astra Interia, and then probably a week after that it will be Arches. And I am thinking of adding more visual novels to what I upload, and one of those is Liar, which someone on YouTube recommended, and which I had already started on my own, but like I kind of got distracted, so I might do it for YouTube. And there's also Password, but I'm waiting for them to put the new sprites in because I don't want to be like doing it and then halfway through it changes to the new sprites, and even the UI changed, so it's a little. I don't want it to be like wait, why does the story look different? Like, even I think the transitions for the days look different too. So, I'll just wait until the new sprites are out. And I think there's another visual novel that I wanted to do, but I can't remember the name. Brave Paradise? I think that's one that I wanted to do. But there's another one. If I remember what it is, I'll eventually, do it. But yeah. Thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Remember the Flowers yourself, there will be a link down in the description. If you would like to follow the creator, I will put a link down for their Twitter. I don't know if they have a Patreon, so I'll have to look into that. And if you would like to support the artist that's making music for a lot of visual novels, and actually for some people too now, because I guess you can commission him for, music, which I am considering. I could put it like as an intro and an outro sort of music thingy. I will put a link down in the description for all that. So I guess I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.